In this video, I'm going to show you how one faceless YouTube channel made me over $14,000 in the last 4 months, step by step, from what niche I used, how I actually make the videos using AI and without showing my face, and how I scaled this to a point where it even did over $500 in a single day. To show you some of the stats, you can see we've done 127 million views in the last 4 months, and you can see we did $14,000 in revenue from that 127 million views. You can see at the beginning of this, it was literally making 1 cent a day, and we were able to scale this very quickly from a place where it was doing 1 cent a day up to a place where it was really quickly starting to hit $100 days, and then up to a place where we were doing $200 in a day, and then it kind of came down a bit, and then back up to a place where we're doing $500 in a day. So again, in this video, one of the things I'm going to be showing you towards the end is how I actually scale channels, like what my procedure is to take a channel from the point where it's pretty much making no money to a place where it's making $400 or $500 a day, and what that process actually looks like. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the video, and I'm going to start by showing you what the niche is, what type of videos I was making on this channel, and how you can make the exact same videos step by step. So step one of building a faceless YouTube Shorts channel is to be in a viral niche. And in this case, the niche that we were doing on this channel is the commentary niche. This is hands down one of the best niches on YouTube Shorts. Like, to this day, this is one of the highest potential, most long-term niches that has worked for literally going back years. This has been a format of content that's worked for years, and it's still working extremely well. So if you don't know what the commentary niche is, it's basically videos like this, where you take a viral clip that did very well on another platform, so a platform like Instagram, TikTok, somewhere else where the clip went organically viral, and you take that clip and you repurpose it as your own by writing a script, doing a voiceover, adding editing, like adding arrows, pop-ups, jump cuts, some like circles to highlight important parts of the video. You basically add a bunch of editing to the clip to make it original and your own video so that you can repost this and it will go viral again for you on your own faceless YouTube channel. This is a channel right here that has done 470 videos and gotten 472,000 subscribers, meaning every time they post, they gain on average 1,000 subscribers per post, which is unreal. And you can see, like, just a couple days ago, they had a video hit 300K. Here's a video that got 6.5 million, and this was posted 9 days ago. So it's done 6 million views in the last 9 days. So it's absolutely insane how much reach this niche can get you if you do it correctly. One of the other reasons that I love this niche so much is just because of how high the RPMs are. And to prove that, here's one of my own commentary shorts that you can see got 12.9 million views and made $1,700 in profit. So if we go to revenue, you'll see the breakdown here. We got 28 cent RPM. So a 28 cent RPM basically means for every 1,000 views, I'm making 28 cents, which is really high for YouTube Shorts, especially on a consistent basis, because with commentary, almost every video I post is getting RPMs like this. It's very consistently high RPM. The other thing as well is that they can go even higher. I've had commentary videos get like 38 cent RPMs, I think was the highest I ever got. So very, very high RPMs consistently. So you'll earn more per view than most other niches. So with all that being said, let me show you exactly how you make these videos step by step using AI. Okay, so step one is you need to find some inspiration channels. So here's one right here I'm giving you. It's called Prime Dose. There's so many of these commentary channels out there. It's one of the most competitive niches out there. Like, there's so many people doing it. But that's actually a good thing in this case, because it means you have a lot of places that you can go to find inspiration for your own channel. So what that means is once you find a bunch of channels like this, you're basically going to want to just scroll through their content. Just watch a bunch of their videos. Click on some of their content, like it, engage with it, comment on it. Just do this on a bunch of commentary channels, and before you know it, your entire Shorts feed will be just commentary videos. It'll just start feeding you commentary videos because it knows that's what you're into. So the cool thing about that is then now you have this constant feed of viral commentary content that you can take inspiration from and essentially kind of steal their clips, which is where I'm going with this. So once you have maybe 5 or 6 good inspiration channels like this or like this that you want to take inspiration from, the next thing you're going to do is you need to go through their content and find outliers. An outlier is basically just a video that did way better than their average views. So you can see here, like, if I go through, their average views on this channel is not super high. They're averaging like maybe 20, 30K views a video. But then this video got 22 million views. So that's an outlier because it did way better than all their average content. And another example would be this channel. You can see their average views is about 10 or 20K. But then boom, this video got 300K. So this right here is an outlier because it did way better than their average video. And one of the best ways you can find outliers easily when you're just scrolling through your shorts feed is to actually use this tool called vidIQ. So this is a free Chrome extension that you can add to Google, and it will basically tell you how much of an outlier that video is. You can see this one is a 1.4 times outlier. You can see this one is only a 0.5 times, meaning it did about half as good as their typical video. This is a really bad video. This one right here, 4.8 times outlier. So this is a really good video to take inspiration from because this is like almost 5 times better than their average. So again, vidIQ, it's a super cool tool and it's free. You literally just look up vidIQ Chrome extension and just use this. Okay, so once you find an outlier that you want to use, this will become the clip that you're going to steal to make your own commentary video about, right? Because if it went viral once, it can go viral again. So what you need to do is essentially find the original clip without all this editing and captions on it so that you can add your own editing and captions to make it unique. Now with commentary, there's a couple ways you can do that. You'll see that a lot of big commentary channels will actually just give you the original video. If you go to the description, you'll see the @ and the platform of where you can find this original video. If you look this up on Instagram, you're going to find the original clip. So always check the description because sometimes you might just be able to find the original clip really quickly. However, if you can't, there is a more proven method that will work on almost any channel to find the original clip. Basically, what you do is when you find a clip you like, you just screenshot one of the first frames in the video where there's not a lot of editing. So we want to find a frame where there's no arrows or anything. So something like this. This is a good frame to screenshot. Once you've got your screenshot, then you're just going to go over to Google and click on this little reverse image search thing right here. So you're going to click that camera icon, and then you're just going to upload your screenshot. And you're going to see that it's actually gone and reverse image searched this clip. And then if I go to exact matches, boom, now it's found a bunch of the original clips for me. And as you can see here, if I click on the first link, it's the original clip with no added editing, no added work whatsoever on it. So this is just a raw clip that I can use to make my own video about. Okay, so at this point, you now have the commentary video that you're taking inspiration from, and you have the original clip. So you're ready to move on to step 2, which is writing a script for this video. Basically, what you're going to do is just copy the link of the commentary video that you're taking inspiration from. Not the original clip, but the actual commentary video with all the editing on it that already has a script. You're going to copy the link of that, and then you're going to head over to this website right here called youtube-to-transcript.com. This is a super great free site. Then you're going to paste in that link of your commentary video and click Get Free Transcript. Basically, what that's going to do is steal the script from that original video. So we can now just click copy and we've got their entire script. All right, so once you've got the script, then what you're going to do is head over to ChatGPT and you're going to paste in this prompt. So you're going to get this prompt. I'll just leave it up on the screen for you. You can screenshot this, write it down, whatever you want to do. It's here for you right now. Basically, what this prompt will do is it will take the script that you've stolen and it's going to tell ChatGPT to rewrite it in a way where it keeps it almost identical, but just with, a little bit of changes to make it unique. So we're going to grab our script from over at YouTube to Transcript, and we're going to paste that in underneath this prompt. So now we've got our prompt and we've got the script in here. And then what you're going to do is just hit send, and you're going to see right away that this will go and start rewriting you a high quality script that you can use. And now you have all the pieces you need to actually edit the video. So we're going to get into the actual editing process. To do this, we're going to be using this tool called Viblo.ai. This is a super powerful tool that basically allows you to use a bunch of built-in AI features to really easily kind of just piece the video together so that you don't have to do too much actual editing yourself. And the cool thing about this tool is that there's actually a 7-day free trial so that you can start making videos and start running your channel completely for free. So I'll leave the link for this in the description down below so you can find the site super easily. Once you create an account on Viblo, you're going to see that there's a lot of different features in here, but the one that you want is video commentary. So you're going to click Create Commentary. And this is going to take you into the editor view where it's just going to walk you through a bunch of different processes very easily to make the video. The first thing you're going to do is copy the link of the original clip that you found, right? That clip that you went and found that was original, that has no added editing on it. Then you're going to just paste that in right here and hit send. And what that's going to do is it's going to go get the video for you and just put it straight into your editing environment so you can start working on it and making it your own. Now, one thing that's really important here though is that you set the correct part of the video to use, right? Because sometimes times when you go to a commentary video, they didn't just use your inspiration clip, didn't just use the entire original clip. Their commentary video might only be 15 seconds long, but the original might be like a 2-minute long video, right? So you're going to want to make sure you trim it down to just use the part of the video and start and end exactly how they had it in theirs, so that you leverage the exact same proven concept that they've already got. And before you move on to the next step, you can also add some sound effects here as well. So you could go in here, they've got, the Vine boom, all the common ones that most people will use in commentary videos are in here. So you can go really easily just add some sound effects. Like a whoosh or something. You can put that kind of wherever you want on the timeline. All right, so once you've done that, then you can click next, and it will take you to the next step, which is adding in your script. Now remember, there is a script feature in here that can generate scripts for you, but we've already got a very proven viral script. This is my personal scripting framework that I always use on all my own commentary videos. So you're going to want to copy that script from ChatGPT and just paste that into the script section right here. And then you can go ahead and click next. So the next thing is subtitles. So these are the captions that will be on the screen that kind of, read out your script. So you're going to want to choose this one. There's obviously a bunch of more, there's like simple captions, there's all sorts of different styles and formats and stuff. But the one that I really like is this one right here. It's called random color. So you're going to want to choose random color. And then one other thing that I always do is I add a stroke. So you see the stroke size option, turn that up to about 5 pixels is usually what looks good. So set the stroke to 5 pixels. It adds that nice black border around the outside. You see without it, it's just much uglier. So it makes it much easier to see the captions. So you want to make sure you turn on the stroke option. Once you're happy with the way that your captions look, you can click next and move on to the next step, which is adding shapes and doing some of the actual editing. You can see on the original video, they added this arrow here, right? And the idea with that is it's to really just make the viewer focus on the important part of the video. And it also just makes it more original so that you don't run into issues with monetization. This shows that you're adding a lot of effort to your videos. So we're going to go with an arrow because that's what our inspiration video did. So I'm going to click add arrow right here, and you're going to see it's going to look pretty ugly, but that's okay. So the first thing that you want to do before you do anything to try to make this look better, you want to choose what part of your video you actually want the arrow on. You can see they don't have the arrow there the entire time. It's there for the first like 1 second of the video. It's only there for a little bit and then it disappears. So we're going to choose specifically what part of the video we want this on. And I'm going to go with the same thing. I want it there for about 1 second. So I'm just going to put 1 second on the arrow as the end time. So it's going to start at 0 right at the beginning of the video, and it's going to end at 1 second. So it's just going to be there, and then it's gone. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Now, what you're going to do next is you're going to turn on the shape drag setting. So you're going to turn on shape drag, and then you're going to be able to actually move the arrow where you want it and make it look nice. So you can resize it, usually kind of about that big looks good. You're going to kind of angle this the way you want it, maybe something like that feels about right. We kind of want it pointing at his head. There we go. So you set the position of where you want it to start. So this is where I want it to be at the beginning of the clip. And then this is where things get a little more complicated. So just bear with me here. You're going to click add keyframe, and you're going to see that that's going to add this little red dot here at 0 seconds, which means this is where the arrow will be at 0 seconds. Now, what you're going to want to do is move the slider to be at the end of the clip. So where do you want the arrow to be at the end of the video, or like at the end of the 1 second when it disappears? So you move the slider to where you want, and then you just move the arrow to a different position, and we'll kind of re-angle it a little bit. So we're going to change the positioning, and then we're going to click add keyframe again. And boom, the end result is this. The arrow moves now, as you can see, because we've set the start and end keyframes for where we want it to start and where we want it to end. And then you can do this as many times as you want throughout the video. So if you want to add, later in the video, you want to add a circle, you can do that, and you set the start time as maybe 5 seconds in, right? Now the arrow won't, or the circle won't actually show up until the 5 second mark. So you can add that second shape later in the video. So once you get all your shapes to look exactly how you want, you're ready to move on to the next step. So you just click next. And the final step is audio. The first thing that you want to do is actually just turn off background music. Make sure you turn that off. Turn that off so that there's no music. The reason we do that is because a lot of commentary videos, they use all the same music as each other, and they're adding these songs in YouTube when they actually post the video. They're not doing it in editing. They're adding it when they post. So you can see this song right here has 17 million shorts made with it. And if you go through them, they're almost all commentary videos. Like most of these are commentary videos. So this is a trending commentary song. And again, you can find these just by looking at what your inspiration clips are using as their audio. But you find a trending song you want, and then you can actually just save that to your YouTube library so that when you go and post your video, you can add this song later. But we're not quite done yet, because back in Viblo, you do need to set some other audio settings for your actual clip, even though there's no background music. You need to choose what voiceover voice you actually want for who is reading out your script, right? So there's a couple options for this. The first option is you can use one of the built-in AI voices. You know, they've got Adam in here. This is the pretty typical AI voice you've probably heard before in a lot of commentary videos. There's a bunch in here that you can choose from. They're all very common commentary video voices. With that said, though, I always recommend don't use AI voices, use your own voice. It makes your video so much more original so that when you go to get monetized, it's your own voice reading out the content. It comes across so much more authentic, and it makes sure your content is monetizable. But there's a very cool way you can do that in Viblo without actually recording the voiceover yourself every time. Basically, you just use the clone feature, and this allows you to clone your own voice by uploading an example of you talking, and then it will allow you to generate voiceovers with the click of a button based on your script without actually having to read out the voiceover yourself, and it will sound just like you. Again, this is exactly what I do on all my commentary channels, including the one I showed you at the beginning of the video that made $14,000. Every video on that channel is with my own voice, but it's not actually me speaking. It's an AI-generated voiceover. That way I can be very efficient when I'm making videos, and I don't actually have to sit down and record my voice. So once you choose the voice that you want to use, whether that's a cloned voice or just the built-in AI voiceovers, then you're going to set one more setting, which is mute video during voiceover. You're going to want to make sure you turn this on. Basically, what that will do is while the script is being read and the script is going and your voiceover is reading out the script, the background video is muted. And then once the script is over, it will let your clip play out with the original audio. At that point, our viral commentary video is done. So we can just click generate and it will go ahead and generate this video. You can download it and get it ready to post on your YouTube channel. So that's the full process for making videos step by step. However, you're not done yet because you actually need to know how to go viral and scale your channel to the point where it's actually getting millions of views a day. So that brings us to step 2, which is I'm going to show you exactly how you can scale to 5K per month posting these commentary videos as fast as possible. And just to prove to you that the strategy I'm going to show you actually works, you can see here is a channel that I started literally just a couple weeks ago. Now, to be fully transparent as well, this channel, I used to post videos on it a long time ago. So it was already monetized for me and it completely died. So I started a new niche literally just 2 weeks ago. And here is the progress so far using this scaling strategy. You can see that literally 2 weeks ago, it was doing a couple cents a day, like 23 cents in a day. And then just through this strategy, after posting a couple videos, we're up to a place where we're doing $8 a day. But then the scaling strategy really starts to pick up. And now we're doing like $15 or $20 a day. You can see like gets up to $20 a day. And then the growth goes crazy. And it went from $19 up to $47 yesterday. And when revenue updates for tomorrow, it's going to be even higher because you can see my views went up even more. They're even higher. So I haven't gotten the revenue for that yet, but I'm expecting it to be maybe about 40% more than yesterday's revenue. So that's just to show you, again, what's possible, that you can literally take a channel using this method from a place where it's doing 23 cents a day in revenue to $45 or $47 a day, which is not bad, in literally just a matter of 2 weeks. So I like to call this strategy momentum-based scaling. I don't know if other people have different names for this, but it works for me. So to give you a sense of what momentum-based scaling is, you first need to understand how YouTube works. On your YouTube channel, there's this thing called your real time. And your real time basically tells you how many views you've got in the last 48 hours. It shows you like a constant, this updates every like 3 seconds. It's giving you a constant update of how many views you've got in the last 48 hours. And this is really important to understand because this is basically giving you an indicator of your channel health and how much momentum your channel has, right? Because if you're just looking at the chart of like, oh, how many views did I get yesterday? Or how many views did I get this week? That doesn't really give you a clear sense of how is your channel doing this second? What is the current momentum of this channel like? Whereas this gives you a really clear sense of like, okay, my channel is trending up right now. And as you can see, that's what this would look like. This channel right here had a 1.2 million view real time, meaning in the last 48 hours, I got 1.2 million views. But you can see most of that is recent, like up to now. I was getting less at the beginning of that 48-hour time period. So this is an uptrending channel. This channel is growing right now, right? So again, this just gives you a very clear indicator of your channel's momentum. So the strategy is very simple. You basically just scale up the amount of videos per day that you post based on how much real-time momentum your channel has. So here's the chart to give you a breakdown. You're going to be posting one time a day to start. So when you first start your brand new channel, you're going to be putting up one video a day. You're going to be putting up one commentary video, making them the way I just showed you every single day. Just be very consistent doing one per day. Once you get to a point where your real time, which is this, your real time views is at least 50K real time views, okay? That indicates that you're getting consistent views that are carrying a little bit. So once your real time is up to 50K views, you can move on to posting twice a day. Now from there, once you're posting twice a day, again, just be very consistent with that. Don't slack off. Post 2 times every single day consistently. Once you've done that for a while and your real time is up to 150K views, so you have 150K real time views, you're now ready to move on to posting 3 times a day. Now, again, these are loose numbers. I just want to say that really quickly. It's not going to matter if it's like 140K or 150K, or even if you blow past that and you end up at like 200K overnight and you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, I haven't been posting 3 times a day yet and it's way past 150K. That doesn't matter. Like, these are just loose numbers to give you a sense of like when you should start posting more. Because if you try to post 5 times a day on a brand new channel, you will get no views on almost every video you post. That's very important to clarify. Like, channels are momentum based. YouTube is momentum based. If you post too much on a brand new channel, you are actually hurting your growth. So you need to kind of ladder up and post the right amount of videos relative to how much momentum your channel has to make sure your channel has enough trust built up with YouTube to actually handle it. We'll keep going here because the strategy does start to change a little bit. You start making bigger and bigger jumps. So once you hit about 150K real time, you can very comfortably get up to a place where you're doing about 3 times daily posts and you'll be okay. Like, your channel won't get hurt at all for posting this much when you're at about 150K or more real time views. From there, you're going to do 3 times a day pretty much until you hit 1 million. Like, this kind of starts to jump a lot. So you're going to do that all the way until you hit about 1 million or even 1.5 million views. Like, your real-time graph should look like this before you go beyond 3 times a day. Once you're at a place where you're consistently, for like a few days straight, maintaining a real-time views that looks like this, over 1 million real-time views, then you can actually make a bigger jump and go up to 5 times a day. And this is kind of the happy number of posts that you can sit with forever. Like, you don't need to just scale indefinitely and post 1 billion videos in a day, right? You don't need to ever really go beyond 5 times a day. Again, the channel I just showed you that went from making 25 cents to $50 a day in the span of 2 weeks has been scaled with this strategy, and I'm now doing 5 posts a day on that channel. But I'm not planning on ever going beyond that. I don't think I'll ever post more than 5 times a day on that channel. That is your end goal, is just get to a place where you're posting 5 times a day. And as long as you do this in a way where you're not posting too much for the amount of momentum that you have, then you won't run into issues and the channel will scale nicely. And once you're up to 5 times a day, you're doing so much volume that it becomes extremely unreasonable for you to not go viral. Now, with that said, as you're scaling your channel, it is really important that you're doing this and also hitting the algorithm properly, which brings us to the next phase of this, which is I'm going to give you a complete algorithm breakdown of how the actual algorithm works, because you now know how to scale and how much you should post. But what you don't know is, how do you actually go viral? What makes a video get 1 million views, right? And the way you do that is by understanding the algorithm. I always like to talk about it this way, that how are you going to beat the game if you don't even know the rules of the game you're playing, right? The algorithm is the rules. It's basically a playbook for how your videos will get pushed out. Basically, you post a video, and immediately after posting it, it's going to get pushed to usually about 20 or 30,000 people. Most channels will get about 20 or 30,000 views a video just by default. YouTube just gives out views like crazy. So it's not hard to get 20 or 30,000 views, and almost every video you post will get stuck here. This is why they call it the 30K jail. You hear a lot of people talk about that because most people are getting stuck at 30K views. So of that 30K views, it is important that you understand that most of those initial viewers are actually people that are not subscribed to you and have never seen your content before. These are non-subscribers. So usually about 80% of that 30K views you get initially are going to be non-subscribers. And then about 20% of the views are going to be people who are actually subscribed to you or have at least seen your content before, like they're returning viewers, right? So it's just important that you know that especially initially when you first post videos, most of the people that see it haven't even seen your videos before anyway. So it's really important that your videos are really good and you make a very good first impression. Okay, so once your video has been pushed to 30K views, that is the testing phase for YouTube. So what they're doing is they're analyzing how did your video do with those 20 or 30,000 people that watched it. So there's basically two things that can happen at this point. They analyze how the video did with that 30K views and they see like, okay, people watched it for not that long. They didn't engage well with it. So they determine that it's got bad performance with those viewers. So they stop pushing your video. And this is what will happen to 80 or 90% of your content. It will get stuck in that 30K jail because YouTube decides, no, you know what? Those 30K people, they didn't really like the video. We're not going to keep pushing it. However, if, your video is good and they determine, hey, these stats were really good. The people watching the video, they watched it for a long time and they actually loved the video. They really liked this video. They engaged well. They watched for a long time. If it gets good stats, they will give you more views. They will just push you to a larger group of people and then the cycle repeats and they'll just push you to more people and then they'll kind of stop again and your video will kind of slow down for a bit. They'll analyze and they'll do the same thing. They'll be like, okay, we've given it more views. Did it still perform well? If no, stop pushing the video. If yes, keep pushing the video. And this cycle, this loop right here is the algorithm. This is basically it. It just goes on a cycle over and over again until eventually at some point they decide, okay, this video is bad, and they stop pushing it out. So naturally, your question should then be, okay, well, what about my videos are they analyzing? What do I have to optimize for to make sure my videos get analyzed and determined that they were good? So to show you what analytics matter on a YouTube video, I'm gonna just show you with one of my own videos. So this video right here got just under 40 million views, gained me 30,000 subscribers, and made me over $4,000. And there are basically only two stats that YouTube will actually analyze about your video to decide whether or not to keep giving it views. And the way you can find those stats is you go to the engagement tab, and you're basically looking at two things here. You're looking at the swipe rate, which is this, and the AVD, which is this. And I'm going to show you what those things are. So we'll start with the swipe rate. This is a very simple metric. This shows you what % of people stayed to watch your video when they're scrolling on their shorts feed. So let's say someone's scrolling on their shorts feed, they land on your video, and they swipe away within the first 4 seconds. That's a swipe. That's bad. You want the lowest swipe rate possible. Let's say someone is scrolling on their shorts feed, they land on your video, and they stay to watch longer than 4 seconds. That is a stayed to watch, and that is really good for you. So your goal is to get the best stayed to watch percentage you possibly can, and the lowest swipe away percentage. So just to give you some numbers here, a good swipe away is under 20%. So you can see this video that got 40 million views has a 19% swipe rate. It's under 20%. Typically, as long as your swipe rate is under 20%, then your video has a chance to go viral. As soon as it's over about 20%, those videos typically just don't perform well. And so with commentary, this comes back to what we talked about earlier when we were making the commentary video, which is you want to make that first 4 seconds really engaging. You want an arrow popping up right at the beginning of the video. You want a sound effect really early on in the video. Now, the next metric, and this is arguably more important than the swipe rate, is this thing up here. And this is the average view duration. So this is how long does the average person watch your video for, right? And as you can see here, my AVD on this video, or average view duration, AVD, was 21 seconds, but the video was 18 seconds long. That's why this got 40 million views, because the average view, not like the best viewers, but the average person was watching this video for 4 seconds longer than the duration of the video. The video is 17 seconds long and it got a 21-second AVD. That's insane, right? So the average person was watching the video once and then starting it over and watching it again. That's why this video got 40 million views. So essentially, the way you do that is you just make sure your video is really engaging all the way through. That means, like we talked about earlier, cut out any of the fluff in your video, anything at the beginning or end that isn't adding to the video, just cut it out. And again, that's also why we take inspiration from inspiration videos that have proven formats where it's like, okay, we know if we use that part of the clip, we're going to get good retention because it worked for them. So those are the stats that really matter to determine whether or not you will go viral in the YouTube algorithm. And that is actually it for this video. So I've shown you now the entire step-by-step framework for making videos and how to scale your channel and actually make it go viral. So I promise you, if you implement what I showed you today and you take action and you're consistent with it for a few weeks, there is no reason you can't have a channel that is getting millions of views a day and well on its way to monetization.